It's a mystery requiring a mission of the Malahat. A mystery in the mist, but in the Cowichan Valley, nobody's got the foggiest idea what happened. This is from a doorbell camera in the Duncan area. At 1:25 last night, something went off. Something big, and Dane Little heard it.
Like shortly before 1:30, right? And I was getting out of bed to get a drink, and next thing you know, I heard a huge bang, and everything shaked. And I was so confused. I was like, that can't be real. That's not a firework, so what is it?
Dane felt a little better when he checked Facebook. Others heard it too.
A kind of spooky and unsettling mystery happening last night in North Stamford, Connecticut.
A booming sound, big and loud, roared across a 2-mile stretch of Stamford. No shortage of residents calling the fire department, describing something that nearly 24 hours later, authorities still can't figure out what it was.
Wasn't an earthquake. No damage was found. Just a mystery.
We are not supposed to talk about the booms.
Evidently, there's a lot more booms going around than I first realized. I thought it was just here local to Rigby, Idaho, but it's not. Shortly after posting my video about the booms, I have a law enforcement friend. I'm not going to say if it's state level or county level, but he came over to my house and said, "Hey, Aaron, it'd be a good idea to pull the video you posted about the booms and not talk about it anymore." He didn't tell me if he knew what they were or what they were doing it for, but he says as an agency, they've been told to deny, deflect, and diffuse. So they don't want it to be talked about. Now, I'm not crazy into conspiracy theories, but my officer friend did tell me about a local amateur seismologist that contacted the news and gave him a story about he set up several different seismology detectors around the area, and he was going to run a story on it. And shortly thereafter, before they could actually run the story, he had a heart attack and he's gone. So that got me thinking that there's something going on with these booms that we're not supposed to know about. So if I stop making videos, guys, you'll know why.
What the?
We were all wondering, what are these huge boom, quake reverberations that are going on? This is a little frightening. It rattles the house and the windows and the ground.
Where were you, and did you hear it?
Those are the questions everyone is asking tonight after big booms shook the Salt Lake Valley and other places in northern Utah.
And nothing on the news that I could...
No, just this.
Just this, yeah.
It sounds more like an earthquake growling.
But across town, the coffee cups were rattling. Nobody could talk about anything else.
Sonic boom of aliens. 1,000%.
As for more grounded theories, BC Hydro confirms there was nothing on their grid that could have caused the blast. Environment Canada tells Check News there was no lightning or any other atmospheric ruckus on their radar. After all this, it is no clearer. If it returns, well, you'll no doubt hear it again, but a mystery it remains.
Loud sounds described as booms are getting the attention of people in Mill Creek Township, including the police. In a post on Facebook, the Mill Creek Police Department acknowledged these booms coming from the area around West 17th and Fillmore Avenue during the past few days. The police report these sounds are not the results of any training exercises or SWAT activities. The loud booms have been identified as mortar-style fireworks or explosives.
Officers who have been on duty have heard it themselves. They described it as being pretty loud, shaking cars and buildings, and seeing some smoke in the air. We haven't received any reports of any types of injuries or anything of that nature.
And Mill Creek Police are urging anyone with information to contact them.
There is a mystery right now in Connecticut, leaving many with questions. Dozens of people called 911 last night to report what sounded like an explosion. There's no evidence, though, anything blew up, but whatever it was loud enough to rattle homes, even knock photos off the walls.
You more or less of a phenomenon to us, an anomaly that happened. Things like this have happened before, though.
I heard a big boom, thought that my kids jumped off like a something like a furniture.
No, Nina Clark's kids weren't to blame because the noise she heard rattled houses in a 2-mile stretch of North Stamford around 6:45 last night.
All of the windows were shaking and we just felt vibrations. And my dad called upstairs. He was like, "What the hell was that?"
It's a great question, one that so far has no answer.
Chalking this one up for right now is undetermined and somewhat of an anomaly.
Others dialed 911, at least 10 calls around 6:45 last night. Then at 3:45 this morning, 2 additional calls reporting the same thing. The fire department responded each time and found, well, nothing. Jason Christie was home for the first loud boom. His wife heard the second.
She called me while I was at work at 3:45 or something. Because it happened again, so I don't know. It's very interesting.
Online, there have been other Big Bang theories. Everything from a meteor to something falling from an airplane to a crystal meth lab exploding. The fire department says it's investigated, and the answer to all that speculation is no, no, and no.
There was no explosions, there was no problems with our infrastructure, no gas main problems, no fires of any type.
We begin today with the mysterious booms heard across northern Utah today.
Now, people living across Salt Lake Valley are reporting their houses were shaking and their windows were rattling.
This is what people were hearing. It interrupted one Utahns' date.
Single, so, there's that. And there's firemen in front of me at the place, and their radios go off, and like 4 or 5 at a time. They're listening to their radios saying, there's these explosions going on. I'm like,
Playing pickleball, this married couple stopped their game to listen.
At first I thought it was like a truck, but then it was more like comparison, like a sonic boom, like if you hear like one of those planes that fly overhead, that type of thing.
We do know that the Tooele Army Depot is confirming that those 14 explosions are in fact routine.
Unexpected booms rattled the Salt Lake Valley, sending some Utahns into a panic. Animals on edge.
Close to Cotwood High, it's actually shaking the building.
In over 1,300 911 calls to Salt Lake dispatchers in a 20-minute time frame.
48 caller stating it was more of a loud banging noises. Sounded like possibly an explosion.
But believe it or not, it's just another day for the people of Tooele.
I don't ever pay attention to when it happens. I guess it's just normal for us out here in this neighborhood because we hear it all the time.
This is the video Cheyenne Kenner got from her front porch, and she will admit the smoke cloud felt larger than usual. What wasn't normal? The sound traveling all the way to the Wasatch Front.
Now, one thing we have received reports of is people may be hearing this as far as Park City or Deer Valley. And we are going to toss it to Jenna Bree, who's live out in the field with community reaction of several individuals across the Salt Lake Valley who heard and felt these explosions.
It was shaking the whole entire complex, it just rattled the place. And so we can hear it, then we walked outside and you could just hear it, boom, boom, boom. And it was like every time I walk in the house, it would happen again.
Tyrone Smith said he never felt concerned or like he was in danger, but again, people around here aren't used to hearing this kind of thing from all the way over the mountains.